it can be built fully without code.
Many businesses struggle with high support costs. How can Experience Cloud help with that?
In fact, some companies see a 30-40% reduction in tickets after implementing a knowledge base.
And it was a real pain until we completely moved to Experience Cloud. Welcome to Pro Salesforce, the podcast where we explore everything Salesforce, from best practices to real-world examples. I'm your host Sergii, a Salesforce consultant here at Synebo. And today we're discussing whether Salesforce Experience Cloud makes sense for your business and when you should consider it. Many companies struggle with scaling customer support, engaging partners, and enabling self-service. Experience Cloud is one of the leading solutions designed to solve these challenges. But how do you know if it's the right fit for your business? That's exactly what we'll explore in this episode. Joining me today is Yana, project manager and Salesforce administrator who has extensive experience in digital transformation and Salesforce solutions. Yana, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Sergei. I'm excited to discuss Experience Cloud to help businesses determine if it's the right choice for them. But firstly, I think I need to introduce myself. So yes, I'm Yana and I'm technical project manager at Synebo. I've been working with Salesforce for over 4 years, starting my journey as a Salesforce administrator. And through my career, I have had the opportunity to contribute to the creation of several Experience Cloud sites, each designed for different purposes. So I'd like to share my knowledge about the capabilities of Experience Clouds today.
Thank you very much for the introduction. And today we'll learn how to determine if Experience Cloud is the right solution for a business. We'll review the most common use cases, including customer portals, knowledge bases, and partner communities. And also we'll discuss key considerations before adopting Experience Cloud. Let's start with the basics, Yana. How would you define Salesforce Experience Cloud for someone who is just starting exploring it?
That's a great question. So Salesforce Experience Cloud, formerly it was known as Community Clouds. It's a digital experience platform based on Salesforce intents. It enables organizations to build branded online communities, portals, websites to engage with customers, partners, and employees.
That sounds powerful. And could you break it down a little bit more? How do service portals, partner communities, and knowledge bases each serve different business needs?
Yeah, sure. So Salesforce provides different capabilities to resolve clients' issues with sharing knowledges, with partners' interactions, and so on. So let's break it down into some separated parts that Experience Cloud resolves using its capabilities. So let's start with its main capability. It's customizable portals and communities. It enables organizations to create branded, user-friendly digital experiences customized to their specific needs. These portals serve as central hubs for customers, partners, or employees, allowing them to interact with relevant data, collaborate efficiently, and access self-service resources, all within a secure and personalized environment. One of the most powerful aspects of Experience Cloud is its ability to support a variety of community types, ranging from customer self-service portals and partner relationship management communities to interact collaboration hubs. Each of these can be designed to serve distinct user groups with unique access rights, ensuring that the individuals see only the information and tools that are relevant for them. And another key solution that Experience Cloud provides is that it can be built fully without code. Salesforce provides built-in templates and themes that make it easy to get started, so the solution can be built without code interference. And for the cases when business requires more advanced branding and functionality, full customization is possible using Lightning components, Visual Force, and Epics. So it's depend on clients whether they want to have like some easy built portal, then it's fully possible to create it without any codes. And if they want something specific that Salesforce not provide, it's also possible to create something with codes, like some components and some solutions using Apex in Salesforce.
Yeah, I think it's a huge advantage that you can start to use Experience Cloud out of the box. It's really easy to go live with something simple, and then you can add more complex custom development. So how does it compare to other solutions like Zendesk or some custom built platforms?
Yeah, sure. So there are other products that can be comparable with Experience Cloud. For example, that the product that Zendex provides, but in comparison, it lacks partner portal or internal collaboration capabilities. So Experience Cloud provides more advanced community engagement tools, for example, chatter, discussions, collaborations that Zendex lacks. And another example that can be compared with Experience Cloud that is WordPress, which is also a solution provided. That is also a solution that can be compared, but it's not really that easy to support. It requires additional tools for identification, permission control, and business status access, which is more easier to control in the Experience Cloud because it's based on Salesforce instance.
And I also wanted, from my experience, I worked with the Zendesk and Salesforce integration, and customer used Zendesk as a support portal to create cases, and we struggled some issues with the integration with the so the cases should be automatically created in Salesforce, and all the automation should work on both ways. And it was a real pain until we completely moved to Experience Cloud. So it solved all these issues with the integrations, and we had more resources because we don't have to the support the integration, because there is simply no integration because Experience Cloud based on the Salesforce. So it was a huge advantage. And if you're using Salesforce, first solution you should consider is Experience Cloud.
Yes, that's right. So for all of the customers that using I mean, not customers, all of the companies that are using Salesforce, they surely need to consider Experience Cloud as their case management portal or knowledge based portal because it's much easier to build. Firstly, as I said, it's not requires any codes. It can be built fully without it, and it's um, from the and it's really easy to integrate with Salesforce because Experience Cloud is based on Salesforce. So that's a really big advantage of Experience Cloud because it's not required any integrations with some other platforms, and it's much easier to control it and configure it. So it can put data just from the Salesforce. It can be as standard objects as much as custom objects, and mm, for example, it can be cases, accounts, opportunities, contacts. And in the case that you mentioned, case is much easier to manage in the Experience Cloud because, for example, it has some built-in components in the Experience Cloud that allows us to create cases, to search through the documents that are related to cases, and it's much easier to work with it without any integration. So yeah, I agree that any clients that are using Salesforce need to consider Experience Cloud.
Another big differentiator today is AI. All big players have their own AI solution. What role does AI play in Experience Cloud, and how does it enhance personalization and automation, for example?
So, Experience Cloud can be integrated with Einstein bots, which is AI solution from Salesforce. It can be integrated as a chatbot or as a search platform for the portal, which is also increase the experience of customers and partners with the portal and allows them to communicate with their agents more efficiently. So, yeah, and not all of the products that can be comparable to the Experience Cloud have such features, which is very good way from Salesforce to provide it also for the Experience Cloud.
What other Einstein AI tools are available in Experience Cloud?
So, firstly, AI plays a significant role in Salesforce Experience Cloud. It enhances user engagement, automation processes, and optimization. Overall experience for customers, partners, and employees that use Experience Cloud. Einstein AI, Salesforce Artificial Intelligence component, is deeply integrated into Experience Cloud. It enables starter search, personalized recommendations, predictive analytics, and automation. For example, AI-driven Einstein case classification and next best action, that is how the Einstein solution named. They fuse streamline customer support in Experience Cloud. When a customer submits a case, Einstein automatically analyze the issue, classify the case, and suggest the best course of action. For agents, or even recommends self-service resources that could help resolve the issue before human intervention is needed. This speed up resolution time and ensures customers receive timely, relevant support. For companies managing partner relationship through Experience Cloud, I enhances lead and opportunity management, Einstein lead scoring and opportunity insights. That's another tool that Einstein provides. It analyzes historical sales data and partner integrations to identify the most promising leads and deals. It helps partners prioritize their efforts, leading to higher conversion rates and increase in revenue. Additionally, Einstein AI can automate partner onboarding processes, ensuring that new partners receive personalized training, resources, and content based on their industry, role, and previous activity.
So, when should a company seriously consider Experience Cloud? Let's break it down by common business pain points. Well, many businesses struggle with high support costs. How can Experience Cloud help with that?
The key here is self service. By creating a self service portal with a knowledge base, customers can find answers on their own, reducing case volume and lowering support cost. In fact, some companies see a 30-40% reduction in tickets after implementing a knowledge base.
That's a huge impact. And by the way, if you're interested in knowledge bases, we have a previous episode diving into that topic. Another challenge is managing partners effectively. What role does Experience Cloud play here?
A partner portal centralized all communication, de-orchestration, and training resources. This means partners can access what they need without relying on back and forth emails.
And what about internal teams? Can Experience Cloud help with that?
Surely, absolutely. Many businesses use Experience Cloud for employees' interaction. With this ensures that internal documentation and resources are easily to find, increasing productivity. And I have experience with working such company that created an Experience Cloud with specifically for resolving this issue. The company came to us with an issue that they employees they are growing as a company and they using Salesforce and their employees are using Salesforce licenses, which cost much bigger than partner licenses. So they came to us with this issue, and they decided to build Experience Cloud to resolve this issue and also resolve so many other issues that were solved with Experience Cloud. So they now have a knowledge base which they didn't have while they used just Salesforce. They now have a big collaboration portal, and that's a big step forward for them, which is great, and I think more companies need to consider it.
Yeah, it's actually a good solution. They not only reduce the price of the licenses, but they also remained like they keep their database. Well, they didn't move to any other solution, so they continue to work with their records. Yeah, it's a great solution. So how does a company know it's time to invest in Experience Cloud?
So there are a few key indicators. Firstly, that's high customer support cost and the need for a self-service solution. As I said previously, Experience Cloud is a big case management portal as well. It has a lot of tools, built-in components that help companies to work with their cases. It's also resolve many issues that can be resolved without any agent interaction. For example, a customer had any issue, they wanted to create a case, but that's just really simple case. So they are starting to create a case, and they see already the information that there is like a knowledge article that resolves this issue, and that's really great.
So it can even reduce the volume of the cases. So you don't even need to create a case if there is an article that can solve this issue.
Yeah, surely, and it's it also helps to decrease the amount of agents in company, because some simple questions and some simple cases, they are resolved by their own, because there are some knowledge bases that resolve this issue without any interaction with agents and managers. So that's the first one. And second one is partners struggling to access key resources and training. I had an experience with some companies that was education companies that needed their customers, needed their partners to communicate with each other, and also see the resources and training without um, without making any big effort into like logging into Salesforce, going to some applications. It was just there with the Experience Cloud, which is really easy to use. So it was much easier for them. And a great solution that also Salesforce provide with Experience Cloud, that's CMS. It's a great solution because it allows to control a lot of content uh, without in the Salesforce. You do not need to have some server where you will keep all of your content. It's all in Salesforce. You can add new content drafts, you can edit them, and it's easy to control what your users will see in the Experience Cloud without making big efforts. So when I say that that's no code solution, I actually mean that it's no code solution, because it's easy to control for administrators or even some managers of the companies, because they can access to the content that their users see in the Experience Cloud without making any code changes. It's just into Salesforce and they can edit it wherever they want.
And speaking of outdated portals, and you mentioned CMS, content management system, some businesses also use Experience Cloud as content management system for their public websites. How does it compare to traditional website development platforms, and when does it make sense to use it in this way?
So surely it makes sense to use it when you don't have a big hub of developers in your team. Because if you want to manage content in some sites, it's not really easy because most of the content are like they are shown through the code solutions. And if any manager want to change some, for example, picture in the site, it's really hard for them because they need to go into the code, change some parts of the picture, which is not really easy for some of the managers. But if it's CMS is much easier for use because you just go to the application of Salesforce, which has a very user-friendly interface, and it allows simple managers just to upload new picture without making any big effort. And not only pictures, I'm sorry for interrupting, not only pictures, it can be some documentation, it can be banners, it can be carousel pictures. So it's a lot of things that CMS provides, like interface features.
Yeah, and also some videos, some guidelines, tutorials, and etc. Yeah, and it's really cool that you don't need a dedicated developer, a special person who has 5 years of experience who can smoothly change it, and you can do it on your own. Yeah, it's great. And in terms of industries, which ones benefits the most?
So first that come up for me, it's tech industry, obviously, because tech industry is using Salesforce the most. And as I know, most of my customers that used Experience Cloud, that was they used it as a knowledge base support portal because it's easy to use for customer collaboration. And as I said before, it's decreased the time of agents in the companies because they some of the issues resolves without any interaction with them. So yeah, for tech companies, they using it mostly as knowledge base and case management portals. And for other industries, I also have experience with some education companies that use it as their study portal. It's also knowledge base, but also it's used for their students that want to access some knowledge articles, and also for it can be customly, not built-in solution, but it can be implemented as some test portal. For example, some their students want to go with some tests, and it's easily can be implemented in the Experience Cloud. It's not built-in solution; it's custom solution, but it also can be. So education, I think that's the second most popular industry that uses Experience Cloud, at least in my experience. Another industries, it's surely financial services because they also need some documentation portals and partner engagement portals. So it's easy for them to use Experience Cloud as well. And sure, it's manufacturing companies, healthcare companies, and so on.
What are the top things companies need to think about before the implementation?
So, firstly, that's their customization needs. Will the out of the box features work, or it's a custom branding and layout required? Some features it's not easy to like Salesforce provide a lot of solutions with built-in components and so on, but some customers they want something specific, like in their branding, in their colors that Salesforce cannot do out of the box. So yeah, companies need to consider what they really want. Second thing is integration with existing system. So they need to understand, ensure that there's smooth connection with CRM, or they need some integration with other platform, not with Salesforce, but with something else. And third things they need to think about is their user access and permissions. Salesforce Experience Cloud provides a lot of good way to personalize the view of the in the Experience Cloud. So they need to really think good about what their customers and partners will need to see, what is their access level, and so on. So that's a big part of any Experience Cloud implementation. And sure, like they need to plan of the growth, like if they want their portal to be have multi-language support in the future, or maybe some global expansion. Maybe they want SEO with Google, for example, or something else. So yeah, that's also things that they need to think about.
If a company is planning to scale globally, what specific features in Experience Cloud can help support the international expansion? Like you mentioned, multi-language support. What else?
Yeah, so surely it's multi-language support. Let's start with it. Salesforce Experience Cloud provides built-in components. It named Language Picker, which allows to choose between the languages that were set up in the community builder. So so customers and partners they can use languages that are more preferable for them. It's not it's default feature, like any company that is using Experience Cloud can set it up for them, but it's by default it's English, of course, but if you want some other language, it's fully possible to do. And second example is SEO. So it's short for search engine optimization. So that means that some of your pages in the Experience Cloud can be searched by Google, for example. It's easy to set up in the Experience Builder. So it's also a good way to globalize your portal.
And how is it possible to track the usage of the Experience Cloud portals?
Yeah, that's possible. So Salesforce allows us to have some integration with Google Analytics. Unfortunately, that's not Salesforce feature, but Salesforce give us all tools to do it with Experience Cloud. So it allows us to track how many users logged in into the community, what they did in the community, where they clicked in the community. It's very great for companies that like to track their usage of the Experience Cloud. They want to know how popular some of the knowledge articles, and they want to know which search terms were entered in some support forms, so they can understand like what knowledge articles is needed more, what they need to add, and yeah, so that's possible to check.
Is it accessible on devices other than desktop, or does it require any additional custom development for mobile devices?
Experience Cloud portals are mobile friendly by default. ensuring that the users can access the community from any devices, whether desktop, tablet, or smartphone. Of course, if you build in some custom components, you need to make sure that they are responsive for any devices. But if it's built-in components that Salesforce provides, they by default goes with all of the devices. The responsive design ensures a seamless experience across different screen sizes, which is essential for modern businesses criteria to users who expect on-the-go access.
To simply put, the Experience Cloud itself will work on mobile device, but if you have, for example, any custom forms, you need to apply them for the most mobile devices as well.
Yeah, sure. So in some custom developments, you need to make sure to build it responsive to any devices. If you want to use other devices from not only desktop but some other devices, surely you need to make sure that it works with them as well. But if it's some standard components from Salesforce, they will be accessible for all of the types of devices.
Now let's move to my favorite part of this podcast, success stories and real life examples. Do you have an example of successful implementation of Experience Cloud?
Yeah, I have several examples of really great portals that we build in with Experience Clouds. And let's start with the first one. I think that's my favorite one. So it wasn't the easiest one, but it was really interesting because the client came to us with a very interesting question. Can we implement partner and customer portals all in one site, because they needed that this site would be with the same domain, and they didn't want to use like two different sites that would have different domains for their partners and for their customers. So we built a site that allowed partners and customers log into these sites. They had the same URL of each of the page. However, they saw different view for each of the page, because their customers and partners, they in most of the cases they needed to see different things. They need to see different branding, different content of CMS, different components in some cases as well. And so we created a site that allows to do it. So Salesforce provides this feature that named audiences in the community. So we can create audiences based on the user profile, group, role, and some custom user criteria. For example, it can be some fields value on the user records as well. So based on such things, we created different audiences, and some of the, like, it was main audiences that was partner and customers, but also some of their partners needed to be separated, for example, for sellers and distributors. So it's they also had some different sub audiences. It was very interesting thing to do, because some of the audiences, they needed to see different page variation. And it's interesting thing, because the page have the same URL, but each of the audience that's log into the community say absolutely different things for the same page, which is firstly a cool thing to do and a great experience for the clients.
Yeah, it's really cool. Actually, like the audience feature allows us to control the visibility of basically everything. We can even show like different buttons, different tabs, and everything that you mentioned, different content, page variation, etc. Yeah, it's really cool. Do you have any other
Yeah.
examples?
Yeah, so as I mentioned before, there was a client that previously used Salesforce for their employees. They used it for um, to work with some standards and custom objects. For example, that was accounts, contacts, cases, and so on. And also a lot of custom objects. For example, it was, as I said, it for employees. So employees needed to have some login object. They needed to have um, mm, issue object and so on. So for this case, they we created a community cloud that allows them to work fully with all of these objects, and it really helped the client because it decreased the cost of their licenses, and it helped the clients to reduce the some financial issues. Of course, they needed to invest some budget into the building the community, but in the uh, for the future, it was much cheaper than to work with some really with some licenses that provide by default need to provide more features that they needed. So yeah, in such cases, it's also a good way to resolve some financial issues. Another customer that came to us, they wanted to have a fully knowledge-based portal because recently they implemented data cloud and engaged all of their knowledge articles into their Salesforce organization. So they ingested articles from all of the instances that they owned, like they now had all the documents in Salesforce, and these documents came from Google Drive, WordPress, from some their self-drive servers, and they decided to have it all in the Salesforce, and to help share these knowledge articles with their customers, they decided to build a big portal that will be used specifically as a knowledge base, which is easier to do with Experience Cloud because it's one of the main feature for users that have Salesforce. And also there are some knowledge base and any Experience Cloud portals, they can be guest free. So you can open the portal, and any user that just clicked on the link to the site can see any information that is allowed in this site. And it's great because you do not need to pay any money for your guest user. It's just for free. You're just using this portal as a common site.
Yeah, those are some really interesting examples. And now let's talk about the how to get started with Experience Cloud. Like we discussed all the conditions before the implementations. We talked about what is the right time to adopt it. Now, if a business is considering Experience Cloud, what should be their next step?
First, they need to detect the pain points. What is the issue they want to resolve with Experience Cloud? It can be support cost, it can be partner collaboration issues, or of course knowledge management, case management. Next, they need to determine if standard Salesforce solutions work, or if customization is required. And finally, they need to consider working with Salesforce implementation partner for smooth rollout.
Here we are at Synebo. We will be glad to help you with the implementation. That's it for today's episode on when businesses should consider Salesforce Experience Cloud. Yana, really appreciate you sharing your thoughts and expertise.
Thank you, Sergei. It was great to discuss these topics with you. Thank you.
Thanks. And if you found this valuable, be sure to subscribe to Pro Salesforce to more insights. I'm your host Sergei. Thanks for tuning in and see you in the next episode.